What's new with John and Jude in 2023?
This week we talked about we talked about cut this. Okay, wait. Okay. This week we talked about the last week of 2022. Oh no, wait, that doesn't make yeah. And then our studio and The Last of Us episode.
Yes. All right. Enjoy the episode.
Hey man, it's been a while.
It has
It's
been
been
a
a
while.
second.
It's been.
I haven't seen you since forever, since last year. I haven't seen
I
you.
know. So crazy.
It
Just kidding.
is.
That's cap. Saw your ass yesterday. We hang on this What's New with John Jude podcast is kind of interesting because like we see each other every day now, like talking on Discord.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's
we
like,
know what's
okay.
new. We know what's new, but you
But
know,
you guys don't
sometimes-
know what's new.
Yeah, you guys don't know what's new. And sometimes, we don't always talk about things in depth. So like this is a chance for us to actually like talk about things in depth, like
Yeah.
random things.
Yeah. Every time me and John talk, it's only surface level stuff. We don't actually talk about anything else unless we're recording.
Nah, we're always on business shit. It's always business related.
Nah, that's
There's
cap.
no pleasure in this relationship.
No, not at all. None whatsoever. All right, John. What happened since our last recording session? Which, if I remember correctly, it was like the 24th, I believe. 24th
Yeah.
of December was our last recording session.
December 24th. Let's see what happened.
We went to Dublin.
Yeah. We almost got stranded trying to get to Dublin because we didn't have any gas in
Yeah.
our car.
Yeah, and nothing is open on Christmas Day, including gas stations. So that was horrible. We probably spent the morning so stressed out trying to find gas like anywhere, and we finally found it.
Yeah, in the last
so we didn't
hour.
get stranded.
Yeah, very, very lucky. Tourist things, I guess.
Yeah, and then we ate at a really nice Arabic
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Really cool.
Amazing
for
food.
Christmas, Christmas dinner, we had it like a Arabic place. Very good. And then I had to leave. Very sad.
Yeah. The next day after that, John had to leave, and me and Rudy, we flew to Glasgow, Scotland.
Yeah,
Wow.
tell me all about that.
Well, it was pretty good. We luckily enough, Rudy had folks that lived in Glasgow, so we ended up just visiting there and visiting them and staying with them, and they were like so nice and welcoming to me. For those of you who don't know, I have a really small stomach, and Rudy did warn me ahead of time that like the way they eat is just like they eat a shit ton of food, and it just doesn't stop. And I was like, well, this is my hell. This is my hell. The food was amazing.
Your hell,
But
my
unfortunately, my stomach just did not have enough space and was at capacity. So they would feed me food, and I was like, this is amazing food. But then they would keep feeding me food, and I would be like, please, if you feed me any more food, I will explode and die. And you would have to clean that shit up, and that was horrible. So yeah, it was a good fun. They showed us around. Glasgow's not a city that I would put on an itinerary list. But if you're there, I mean, you could walk around it and check it out for like an hour, but I would not spend a day there. But that could just be by my experience. And me and Rudy did end up going to Edinburgh while we were there, and we checked out the Christmas market in Edinburgh and in Glasgow, and they were both really nice. But Edinburgh takes the cake with their fucking shit, man. They had the Ferris wheel, they had like a lot of vendors and like lots of like food, and they had two like amusement park rides where you like sat on a chair and they would like swing you like around and shit. It was crazy, bro. I did not go on that, but yeah.
That sounds really fun. What would you
yeah,
say
and then-
is your? Oh yeah, keep going.
And then I'll continue after you ask me the question because
I'll say, what was your favorite part of Glasgow or Scotland?
my favorite part of Scotland was Edinburgh. My favorite part of Glasgow was Rudy's family. I kind of explained it like it was like it was very nice. They were all very nice to me, and you know they included me in their conversations, and it kind of felt like I was spending Christmas with my family, so it was very very sweet and wholesome. Um, but my favorite part of Scotland was Edinburgh, and I got me and Rudy went to this like Italian place, and we were like, oh, let's try out the cocktails there. I completely lost track of time. I forgot what time it was, and we were like, fuck it, yeah, let's do it. And I haven't eaten anything all day that day, and so I while we were we got our cocktails first. Which I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they give out cocktails first and then the food. But while we were waiting
That's
for
how
the
they
food, I
normally
was
do
sipping
it.
on my. Well, you just I don't know. You don't do it for people like me.
Yeah, I mean that's
So
more what you think.
so I was like sipping on this cocktail, and by the time our food came, like I was halfway done my drink,
Oh my god.
and I was already like, I was giggling and everything, and I was turning red. And when we finished our food, I was like, I forced myself to finish the entire drink, and then, um, like I felt okay, like I felt good, I felt like happy buzz, and then I stood up, and it hit me about how fucked I actually was, and I was like, Rudy, you need to like bring us to the Airbnb because I can't. You need to
Oh
navigate,
my
bro. So I gave him
god.
like my phone. I gave him my passcode. I opened up the Airbnb app. I was like, here you go. Have fun. I trust you. And the whole time I was just like staring down and like
Yo.
focusing on like not wanting to throw up in the street of Edinburgh.
It
Because
was
Rudy also,
trash.
Rudy was making me drink water, and I was like, dude, water's not gonna help me, and I feel fine. And I feel like if I didn't drink so much water, I would have been fine. Like I wouldn't have felt like nauseated and like wanted to
Yeah.
vomit.
Yeah.
But since I did, I felt like vomiting. So I was like staring at the floor and like really trying my damn not to vomit. And yeah, Rudy said I was like I wasn't walking straight. I was not like speaking coherently. So and it was 2 p.m. and I was like that. And we were like I don't know, Rudy wanted to get piercings, and so we were like
Yeah.
walking into like tattoo shops, and we were like,
Uh-huh.
hey, I was like, oh, yeah, you guys,
Oh my.
you guys have
Yeah.
space for piercings? I was like, I was bright red,
Man was
so I think
I wish I was there to see that.
yeah, I was like, I was fucked. And then we went to the Airbnb and we chilled out there for a little bit, and then after that we walked around Edinburgh, saw the pretty lights. I was calmed down a little bit more. Definitely felt better. And then did we eat out? I don't know if we ate out, but we definitely checked out the shopping malls in Newtown. And yeah, it was overall a really nice trip. We came back just relaxed and woke up the next morning, went back to Glasgow, and then we flew back to Canada.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Exciting times. Another day in the
I
life
know.
of Jude. No, that
I
sounds really
know.
fun. I wish partly I wish I could have been there to see that and have those good times, but I was also busy. I was doing my own
Dude,
thing.
Dude, like me and Rudy were telling you should come. I didn't spend any money on the trip pretty much because like while me and Rudy were staying with his aunt and uncle, like they refused to let me pay for anything. So I was like fortunate enough to be able
That's so
to
nice.
save a lot of money. The only times I did spend money was when I was in Edinburgh, but even then it wasn't like too bad.
Yeah. Seems like
But
Rudy's whole family is very nice, or at least very nice to guests.
yeah,
Very
they were
thoughtful.
very welcome. They were like telling me I can come back anytime, but I feel like that only applies if I have Rudy with me.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll be bugging them. But hey guys, I'm back.
Just
in
hang out,
Glasgow.
yeah. You guys, you
No.
still gonna pay for everything, right?
No, no. I would only ever go back if Rudy was there. So yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, you had your own plans to go
I
back
did
to.
have my own plans. So yeah, when I left Ireland like a week early, basically, because you were in Glasgow for a week, so I left like a week
Yeah.
early. But because I wanted to come back to the States to move in with my girlfriend. Shout out Tori.
Wow. Shout
Epic-
out to Tori.
Epic Tori shout out. Hey, you want to be on the podcast? Epic. Check this out. Epic Tori shout out.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah.
So that's why John's setup looks a little bit different than usually.
If y'all notice, all you viewers, all 5 people who watch
All our
our
whopping
podcast,
8 viewers.
yeah, you're gonna notice that my background's a little different. That's because I moved, and yeah, I would pretty much. It was a really easy move. I don't have a lot of like things, low key, so I kind of just moved it like gradually. But I pretty much moved my office space here. I moved my gym setup, which is actually like right in front of me, and then like some things in my bed. So that's what I did, and now I get to live with Tori 24/7.
That's crazy.
Trapped forever. Can never
Cut that out.
escape Tori.
You're
Cut
correct.
that out on the podcast.
No, please. She's gonna beat me up. But
That's domestic
yeah,
abuse.
that's what I was doing. I got epic upgrade because I now live with 3 dogs and a cat too. So we balling
Damn.
on the animal front. Love the pets. Danny, unknown breed, hella mixed, hella mixed, but she looks like a Labrador. No, not lab. She looks like a big Jack Russell. And then we got 2 little white crusty dogs, Lucky and Sage. Sage is very cute. Lucky's a menace. Lucky will try and hump Sage all the time.
I think I had the pleasure of meeting them when we were in America.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah.
Great
so
dogs. And then the cat,
They were-
DiMaggio. Cool guy. Very pleasant.
Throws up on your chair
Yes,
occasionally.
yes. He threw up on my chair the other day, but I cleaned it up. He's old, so whatever. He gets kind of some slack. But
There's
yeah.
some big life plans since the last time we did a podcast.
Yeah, honestly, and I feel like the big plans they're still rolling. This year, 2023, is like a year of like doing shit. We really out here, like both of us, I say, out here doing shit.
Yeah, we got I think I don't know if the loyal viewers would recall that we were talking about a documentary our last podcast, like 2 podcasts ago. We were talking about possibility of doing the documentary. Well, when we were in Ireland, we filmed the documentary, and now me and John are in the stages of doing the post-production. And well, John, you want to talk about a little bit about that post-production stuff? Like,
Yeah, the documentary, it's kind of crazy. I don't think the documentary would have ever happened unless we did this podcast, because you brought up the idea on an episode on the podcast. So like low key, if this podcast was good for anything, it was starting creating the documentary. So we got a documentary going. I'll give a little tease. It's about our friend Rudy, which you saw him on the last podcast episode, the IRL episode. So it's about him, and then we are editing it right now. We shot a lot of beautiful footage. It's going to be a mix of animation and live action, and we're going to put as much effort into it as possible. Right now, we're in the sequencing, like the actual like video editing stage, kind of a mix between like planning and producing or post-production. So we're planning like the animation, and then we're also like editing the clips. We did all the pre-production already, so that's done. But it's really fun, I would say, to work on like such a big project, especially together, because we never like made like we never really done a project together, and this one for like a project to work on is like really cool, because I think we're gonna make it like really awesome. And then we can like put it to film festivals, and it'll be like our debut piece for our new studio.
studio, which also started because of the podcast.
Yeah,
And the documentary.
We just like making things. We're very similar artists, and I think it'd be fun to make a studio together. I feel like you would agree. And so our new studio, it's gonna be a animation and video production studio. The tagline is creative production duo, 2 cousins with one goal: create art that changes people. It's called
Yeah.
Frames and Film because of animation and filming.
And it's a name that I still have to memorize because I always mess it up when I talk to
Man,
John
man
about
always
it.
says film and frames, which I would say does flow a little better. Frames and film, film and frames, maybe. It's just film and frames was already taken, so
Yeah,
I had to improvise.
I don't know how that name like came up to me. Like I don't know why I started calling it like that, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Yeah, yeah, you are,
Frames
you
of
are.
film.
So frames and film were low key. Like I thought it was gonna be something we would just like sit on for a while. But I don't know. I got kind of excited, so I started like doing
Yeah,
things. I made a team project Discord.
yeah.
I made an Instagram, and now I'm making a website for it.
John is popping off while I'm out here twiddling my thumbs. I'm doing like some stuff. Like I did some research on like film festivals that we could apply to and no, but yeah, like I told John I was like, boss, give me more things to do. Or I don't know. I felt bad because like I'm not necessarily doing a lot, but I'm also focusing on working on my portfolio for now. So until after that's done, then I can like start contributing. And after my portfolio, I told John that he sent me some School of Motion stuff that I should check out. So I'm definitely checking that out and starting that
Yeah.
as soon as possible after my
Yeah.
portfolio is
Yeah.
done.
I mean, I've seen, like I said before, I've seen your growth in Blender, and it's very good for how long you've been doing it. So I'm sure like give yourself like a year of like hard dedicated like learning like motion design, and you'd be like pretty decent.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I know, and it's also because what I do as my job, like I'm an animator in a studio already. So like I know kind of how that works. So creating like another studio is just something like I'm more experienced at, and that's why I'm doing more of it now. But what I told Jude is like he's got the most important job, low key, which is to get good at motion design and animation, so that we can do it. But it's gonna be coming now. I think when we if you can follow us on Instagram, framesfilm.studio on Instagram. And we'll be posting like things occasionally there, but I think our debut piece will be the documentary.
Yeah, and we want that out in a couple months. Like we're giving ourselves a lot of time to work on this. Even now in this stage, we're still planning out stuff, cutting stuff out. We're probably gonna put stuff in again. Like it's still very. We're just like throwing as much shit on the wall and seeing what sticks. And
Yeah.
I think later on we're also gonna start throwing more shit in and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I told John maybe do some like private screenings for our versions that come out and see our family and friends like reaction to it
Yeah.
and get their feedback before actually releasing it. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're pretty serious about this, and I feel like it's gonna work because we're both really passionate and we both really like we both are so passionate about just the industry and also we're passionate about telling this story in particular.
Yeah.
And I feel like we both have like the same mindset of wanting to inspire people and just sharing the story. And because I think in like deep down it like touched and like moved us like even a little bit.
It's a very strong story, and I think it is a story that should be heard. And it's speaking on the point of like what you just said, but also kind of like the tagline that I just like made up, like create art that changes people. I thought about like both of one of a big inspiration for both of us, which is the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. That when we both saw that movie, it hit hard, and not just like the story, but also like it in itself being like a great work of art. That I know, Jude, you said it kind of made you want to go more into like art and video and animation.
Yeah, it definitely sparked my passion again for film and for like animation. And I wanted to be like after watching that, I immediately was like, well, crying. And I was like, damn, I really want to make something that moves someone the way this film moved me. And yeah, so hopefully might not it's okay if it's not this one, But I
Yeah.
think in general, I want to be able to be part of like those projects and like want to
Yeah.
like try to aspire to make those projects, you know, to tell
That's a
the
good
stories
like.
that like,
Hey, go ahead.
yeah, just to like, you know, just tell those kind of stories and share um things with the world. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I was gonna say that's kind of like a good life mission to have, kind of just I don't know. I feel like it really gives like a drive to me, especially. But when I watched that movie, I was thinking to myself like this is, and I guess I was right. But I was thinking to myself like, this is the kind of movie that is gonna like inspire like generations of artists to create because it's so good. You
yeah.
have to see it if you haven't seen it.
If you
But
haven't seen it already, you should watch it.
if you have seen it already, watch it again.
Yeah, I would
But
recommend.
yeah, it's just it's so good. So that's kind of I think we both share that sentiment. So that's another reason why I feel like it'd be cool to have our own studio together, or like just create work together, and get paid for it. But not even if
Maybe.
it's like even if we don't get paid for it, I still feel like it's still working together, we've already done so much for the documentary that I feel like I wouldn't have done yet for the documentary just 'cause, I don't know. We got that extra manpower, the two
Yeah.
brains fusing into one.
Yeah, I'm always like showing John like, oh, I did a little bit of this, and then we'll watch it together, or we'll go through stuff together, and it's fun. Like our last night in Dublin, when we got back from dinner, we had a TV in our Airbnb, and I hooked up my computer to it, and we were just going through the sequence sheet together, and we made a sequence sheet that night, and we were just going through it, and it was so much fun. Like we were just like figuring out like how to format things and where everything should go. And we were like, oh yeah, okay, what did we do on our trip? And then we were like, okay, maybe this should go here. Or and we cut up, you know, the story and like we were forming it. It was just so much fun. I was like, damn, like you know, this is the kind of shit I was missing out on in my life. You know?
Yeah, yeah, and it's cool because we find those same things fun, even though like they're not inherently fun. It's just like when we're editing the interview, and we got that nice sequence cut together.
Oh
We were
yeah.
both like
Oh
really
yeah.
excited because it worked so well, and it was just a lot of fun. So yeah,
Yeah. There was yeah, at one point when we were editing, we have like an interview clip with Rudy, and you know, we had like an hour and 30, but we cut it down, and there was this one section that we were trying to figure out how to like make it better. And we had like three separate clips, and like John and I was just like moving, like John was moving it, and we were like trying to come up with ways. And we had this one, like John came up with like this one draft of the three
Mhm.
clips, and we were like looking through, and we were like, okay, that sounds really, really good. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe move this clip over here. And we watched, and we were like,
Yeah. When it clips go together just right. Oh, it was so good. It was so delicious.
yeah. Yeah, and I was telling John that like it's so funny because when John's streaming, editing, and he's much better at Premiere than I am. I'm just picking it up right now, so I have to catch up on that. I have to watch a couple videos. But so when John's editing and I'm watching him stream and I'm trying to come up with suggestions, my brain's like processing like how to edit something, and then I can see John like doing the edit without me even telling him. I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna say that, but he's already doing it because he knows how to do it already. So it's
Yeah, we
fun. I'm
got
like,
that
okay.
same like yeah. And I was telling my boss the other day like we're very much like the same artists and like the way we think and like what we're interested in it's very similar. So another reason why frames in film is gonna be a banger.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good. I'm very excited for the documentary. Like, I definitely want to take our time with it, but I also can't wait to show everybody like, you know, the stuff that we're doing. And especially because I think it's just a project that we both, it's like a special project that, you know, that means a lot to us. So, hopefully, you know, even I was like telling Rudy this like during our trip. I was like, even if one person like, even if like we show a couple people and one person like gets moved by it or like you know uh resonates with the film, then that's it. That's
Mission
all the effort
accomplished.
that we've done. Yeah, all the effort we've done to film it and to edit
Hmm.
it and like to market it, everything that we're gonna be doing, like
Hmm.
it'll be worth it.
Hmm.
And I think we'll be like, okay, let's move on to the next one, see where that goes.
So I'm excited Do you want to talk about The Last of Us first episode?
We could also do 2022 recap. That's fine with me. Whichever one.
Let's start off with like recapping our 2022s.
Okay. All right. Would you like to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Man, 2022. What a year. I think so going into 2022, my New Year's theme was like relaxation because in 2021 I grinded like really hard to like make art and make my portfolio to get into where I work now. And that was a lot of like effort. And so I wanted to like take a break. And even after I got into like as a motion design intern, like I was working like full time, but I was also like freelancing at the same time. So
I
I
remember
was like
that, yeah.
really grinding, kind of just because I was excited. But it was still pretty tiring, even though I enjoyed it and I don't regret any of it. Like it was kind of tiring. So 2022
Yeah.
became my year of resting. I didn't really make a lot of personal art, and didn't really do a lot of projects besides like our 2021 or 2022 summer road trip vlog. That was a lot of fun, and I've been hungry ever since. Like I want to get back in there because I love creating, and the rest was necessary, but it was also like to rest, but it was also necessary to show me, I think that creating is really what I get the most enjoyment out of. I think.
Yeah.
What I'm made to do in a dramatic way. So 2023 is the year of grinding and making shit because we are out here doing what we love. And if there's a message in that, it's find out what you love and do it. Even if it's not for a job, it's just that's what it's all about, I think. That's what life's all about. 2022, I'm trying to think about anything else. Oh, 2022 was also the year of fitness for me. I made the most fitness progress I've ever have in my life,
Yeah.
purely because I started eating enough. I started off the year like doing calisthenics, and I was eating a lot. My big hack is make smoothies. When I was like in like prime bulk, I would have 2 meal smoothies a day. They would each be like 600 calories or something, and so that would give me an extra just like 1,200 calories. And then I was doing calisthenics, and then I switched to powerlifting. I had a goal to get to the 1,000 pound club, but I hurt my back a little bit, so I couldn't deadlift anymore.
Oh my god.
My max deadlift was 320 pounds at the time when I heard it, and my bench was 170, and my squat was 250. So that was 740 pound total. So close to 750.
So
But I hurt
close.
I hurt my back, and then that I just had to do something else because I couldn't powerlift anymore. So
Yeah.
I switched to I don't know. I kind of just like took a break, I guess. And then I
You
switched to
kind of dropped
boxing.
off the face of the earth.
Yeah, and then I switched to boxing after that. Did a little street beefs. Actually, we did the video did come out, and we did record our reactions to it. But it was like I didn't post it because I was just so busy at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And now I just don't really feel like editing it because it's so much editing. That episode is gonna require so much editing. I just don't feel like posting it. Maybe one day.
That's fair, man.
Hey,
That's okay. That's
if
okay.
we get to 1,000 subscribers, I will post the Street Beast video and our reaction to it. So that'll never
Okay.
happen. But maybe it will.
Yeah, in like 5 years down the line.
Yeah. Hey, you never know. People, I remember seeing something about how like someone made a comment that like so many people are doing podcasts now, and a lot of podcasts are boring, and they're like Seinfeld where nothing happens. But like, I thought to myself, like our podcast is kind of like that. Like nothing. We're not really talking about like anything, but we're just talking about like our lives and our days, and hopefully that's entertaining enough. But I just kind of thought because like I really like Seinfeld, and so if like our podcast is like the Seinfeld of podcasts, like I'm fine with that. But I don't know, it's just I like doing the podcast too. So yeah, we started the podcast.
Yeah, we
We
did.
yeah, I don't know. This year, looking forward is another year of fitness, I think, but with the boys and another type of fitness.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing long distance running. For those who don't know, I used to be into long distance running until I hurt myself because I always hurt myself when I work out. But this year is going to be different. We're taking it slow, and we got a marathon planned out. Like we
Yeah,
mentioned
we
in the
do.
previous podcast episode, marathon planned out for Seattle in November. And
2023.
2023. Yeah, 2023. So that's very exciting, and I don't know, I definitely want to keep my fitness levels up because it's another thing that I love. I once made a fitness Instagram account because I wanted to do that also. I don't know, but it's not necessarily like I don't love just one type. Like I was doing calisthenics, powerlifting, like martial arts and stuff. Now running, but running is what we're looking forward to now with Rudy and Jude. Check out our TikTok, Road to 100 Miles. So yeah, I think this year is gonna be a lot of growth. What about you?
My 2022. What did I do January last year? I think I was like fresh out of, not fresh, but I was like out of college for like half a year already at that point, working at my retirement home job. Saved up some money.
Uh-huh.
Then in May we did the USA trip,
Uh-huh.
which was a really great road trip. Went to Baltimore, went to Virginia, went to New York City, which is gotta be like New York City is like just I don't know. I loved it. I loved every single second that we were in New York City,
Uh-huh.
and I want to go back.
I have different sentiments about New York City, but I get it. I
And
get the hype.
yeah, I went there and I was like, man, I can see why people move to New York City. I could see myself living in New York City for like, I don't know. I'd want to try it. Like it seems, you know.
Mhm.
And then we did the Ireland trip,
Mhm.
and that was like crazy too. That trip was just like so much
Mhm.
fun. This time it was my turn to drive,
Mhm.
and yeah, we did a road trip around Ireland, and that was a
Thank,
shit ton of fun.
thanks for that, by the way. Thanks for driving the whole time.
No worries. I definitely didn't lose 10 years of my life driving.
Man, you always kept missing exits, man. What's with that?
That's
What's
your
with
fucking fault, man. Yo, if anybody ever gets in a car with John and he's shotgun, never
No, no,
assign designated like GPS to him, okay?
not my fault. That is
No,
Ireland's fault. Ireland
no,
got some whack roads.
no, no. John would tell me to take the wrong turns. He's like, "Oh, you take a left here." I'm like, "Here?" And you're like, "No, no, no, next one." I'm like, "What the fuck,
Ireland has
man?" I
whack
was like,
roads.
"Shut the fuck up!
Not my fault.
Shut the fuck up!" So, yeah, that was good. What else? I got like 3 tattoos this year.
Ooh.
Not slowing down for next year. Next year I'm gonna get tattoos again.
You mean this year?
Yeah, this year. But I would say 2022 is like the year of like adventures for me. I did a lot more stuff with some friends during the summertime, some Airbnb trips, some road trips with my friends, and that was fun. Did some trips with you and Rudy twice. That was fun. I definitely got to see a lot more of the world now. Like I went to Europe and Edinburgh and Ireland and Glasgow, and that's not stopping for 2023. Um, and yeah, and then we started doing like the studio and doing this like working on a documentary, and we got lots of plans for that. So that's really exciting for 2023. But I think 2022 is a pretty good year, and if I were to look back, I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't do anything differently, and I'm pretty excited for 2023. I would also say that it's the year for like I'd say just like art and just like yeah, making shit, you know? I definitely think that as the year progresses, we're gonna have like bigger plans on, maybe like the type of projects we bring up and like doing some networking possibly. Just like developing the studio is like our baby child, like
Yeah.
our passion project
Yeah.
and seeing where it goes. You know, if it doesn't go anywhere, that's fine. Like that's okay. It was still a good time
Yeah.
and definitely learned a lot.
Mhm.
And you know, you don't really go into something in hopes of being famous. You just do it
No,
because we
yeah.
love to do it.
For sure.
And we are
Yeah.
like, we came up with the idea just like as a side concept. And then after the call, we were like, holy fuck, we should definitely do this. And then the entire time during the road trip, we were like, yo, this shit's gonna be a fire. And then while
Uh-huh.
we were editing it and going through, you know, I think one of the highlights for the trip for me was after every single day we would like sit down,
Mm-hmm.
chill out, put the footage and the documentary stuff on the hard drive and just like going through it together, like all three of us. We were
Yeah.
just going through all the photos we took that day and all the footage, and we were like looking back and even like editing the documentary and like looking through the footage and stuff like that. Yeah, I have like this big ass smile on my face every single time, like while I'm editing it, because I'm like, damn, those were some good times.
Good
And
memories.
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the marathon that we're doing in November. Although I hate cardio and I don't understand the concept of taking it easy.
My brother, take it easy. This guy runs too hard.
I was telling John,
Man almost died in his last
we
run.
did we did a 30-minute run the other day, and I was telling John at the end, like at the halfway point, I had to like tie my shoelaces, and my head was spinning. I was like so dizzy, and I got up and I got to run again, and I started swerving to the side. And and then after my run, I like sat down and I had to like catch my breath because my world was spinning. My head was just going like this.
I think that
And
also might be like not drinking enough water maybe during the day. Like you're
I
maybe
drink so much,
dehydrated. Maybe
bro. I
did
drink.
you not eat enough of the day before running? Or like
Mm-mm.
before running that day?
I have a nice meal. Like I think that day I had a bagel and like with like eggs,
Mhm.
a bagel, eggs, and like banana. I had like a full glass. Like I,
Well,
it's simply me pushing myself.
which is
That
good,
that
but
that run, I was like, because me and John did like a 5K so many years ago, and me doing that with no training whatsoever beforehand, no prior training, no like working out and like nothing. We just did it. I did that 5K 35 minutes, 32 minutes. And then recently in Ireland, like before Ireland, I did another 5K by myself and I still hit like 32 minutes. So I was like, fuck. And this time I was like, I need to get 5K before 30 minutes. And so I really pushed myself. And I did it. I did at the end of the run, after the end of 30 minutes, I did the 5.6K. So it's not bad.
yeah.
But I definitely had to catch myself beforehand, after the fact. And
Yeah.
after that, I just like laid down. I did not get up from my bed. I crashed once I
Uh-huh.
got home. I was like,
All right.
fuck my life.
The run we're doing today is a recovery run. It
Yeah,
means it's
I know.
not you're not supposed to be tired. You're supposed to just go on a run to get your legs like blood flowing and recover.
Yeah,
Hey, don't be tired, all right?
I'm not. I'm taking it so easy this run. I'm gonna be like, yo, my pace is gonna be like 20. My pace is gonna be 20.
It's just gonna be walking. You could walk, honestly, like for recovery.
No, no, I'm gonna like jog. But
Yeah.
for the other run I did like 8.5, like 8:30, 8:50 as my average pace. I think I finished the run with 8:30,
Mhm.
or
Miles
8:50. I don't know.
miles per
I don't know
minutes
how
per
they do
mile.
it, but
It's 830 minutes per mile. Yeah.
okay. Well then yes. So that was pretty good. So yeah. Yeah.
Exciting.
Now we can
Exciting
talk
stuff.
about The Last of Us.
Yes, The Last of Us.
The Last of Us show that we watch legally on HBO Max.
Yes, I
Because
love watching shows on HBO Max.
we are law-abiding citizens. I love
Yes.
Velma. That's why we have HBO Max. Velma was my favorite.
Velma stands.
Yeah. I love Velma. I love everything they're doing with Velma.
Uh-huh.
But this isn't an
Uh-huh.
episode about Velma. This is
No.
The Last of Us.
No.
So I watched it because I love Pedro Pascal, and I also love The Last of Us, the first game, not the second one, but the first one. Avid fan, and I was like, "There's no way they fuck it up," and they didn't fuck it up. I watched that shit. I ate that shit up. I
I
ate
was
that shit up.
feasting.
Give me more. I was still starving.
Uh-huh. I watched it also legally. I watched it legally also, and
Yeah.
I also love Velma. I love HBO. But I agree with you that it was very good. It was good, but I cannot agree with him that it was goated. I haven't seen enough goated material yet that to say it's goated. It's good.
Bro,
It's a good show.
How,
Yeah.
Yo, okay. We're gonna talk about spoilers because I'm about to shut you up right now. Alright, how do you watch? How do you watch? Okay, so for any of our viewers, our 5 fucking viewers who are watching this right now, stop watching right now. Go watch the episode, legally, of course, and then come back and then listen to this because I'm about to spoil this shit. Wait, the grandma scene alone is goated.
Grandma
Okay.
scene is the only goated scene, I would say.
Bro.
Does not make the
Bro.
show goated though.
No? Okay, the fact that the grandma scene, like the stuff. So I like applaud the show for being like basically 1-to-1. Like they do some changes for the from the game, but the adaptation is insane. There's so many lines that are just carried from the game, but with like different different like, delivery, and the acting is still phenomenal. Like it's still good.
Bro, the writers were writing the show based off the game, and they're like, man, this shit's too easy.
They're like, yo, we don't gotta do shit.
Yo, use that
But
line, use that line.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah.
But
The adaptation, I would say, it's very loyal to the game.
yeah, and the scenes that they add to the story is like it's actually scenes that are like it develops the characters further. Like it develops the plot. Like it's not just like, oh, like useless add-ons and shit. Like you actually it's so good. The grandma scene isn't even in the original game. Like that the like that premise was like completely out of it. So it was just insane. Just like seeing, I knew something was up with the grandma. You watch a horror movie, anything
sure.
with old people is like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
And the way the
yeah.
camera was like
Oh yeah.
like on focus on Sarah, and then the grandma's in the back,
Grandma
and she
was-
starts spazzing out, and her
Yeah.
mouth. I was like,
I really like the horror aspect of that, and I want them to do more of that horror. I hope they do.
I think they.
because that was done really
I think
well.
they will.
The tension, and the zombies. I will say the zombies are very good. They're actually scary
Yes.
because they're fast and like
Yeah.
unpredictable. Unlike the Walking Dead
Dude.
zombies, where you could jog past them and be okay. These zombies are like you gotta run or you're dead.
Dude, when Pedro Pascal's like holding his daughter,
Yeah.
and like starts running, and he's like bumping into like a horde of them, and they're like eating, and he's just like frozen in fear, and then the guy just goes like, he looks at him, and then just like,
Yeah.
like rises up, and
Yeah.
then starts sprinting to the point where he's like jumping off counters and like bumping into shit. Like there's like World War Z zombies, bro. You don't
Yeah.
fuck with these zombies.
Yeah, those I would say that is also another great aspect of it. Did you see like it's on TikTok? It's like, did you guys catch the clicker at the end of the
Yeah,
episode?
yeah.
And the way they, I know it's like 3 pixels tall, but like the way that's animated or that looks really good.
Oh
So,
my
like,
god, I'm excited.
Yeah, so
I'm
I
excited
think,
for next episode.
I think like the tension in those zombie scenes, and if they do it right, is gonna be like maybe some of my favorite parts of it. Like I don't know. It's a good show. Like it's just not great yet, and I keep thinking to myself like, I keep comparing it to Arcane because it's different, but it's like another video game adaptation, and it's not just Arcane, but like maybe also Everything Everywhere All at Once, in like the way like it's a little. The Last of Us show is just a little bit. It's good, but it doesn't push that envelope. I would say, like, you could make. I would say the scene in which Joel fists that cop guy who, at the very end, he's like, beat him up. It's a very dramatic scene, very, I would say, is emotional. Showing Ellie like, yo, this dude's like a badass, or dude's tough. I feel like that was done like well, but I felt like there was still room to make it like even better, because it made me be like, yo, that's cool, but it didn't make me be like whoa, like it's a good show. It's just not goated.
Yeah, I think your definition for goated is like completely different from mine. I don't think it's goated because I go like, whoa, that's amazing. Whoa, that's like epic or whatever, you know? Because yeah, there are like times when I watch Arcane and I'm like, oh my god, that's like sick. And I know that there's gonna be points in this show that's gonna make me feel that way, but I think it's just goated because it's so loyal to the source material, and it just like you can tell that you can tell that like people were passionate about this show, and that like they wanted to keep
Yeah.
that adaptation true to form. So just it's I think that's why it's goated, and I know that like throughout the show I'm just gonna love it, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with season 2, because season 2 is supposed to be Last of Us Part 2.
What do you mean you're curious?
So-
You know what they're gonna do.
I mean, I'm curious because I know they make like changes throughout the show. Like I know they make additions, they change stuff. The plane crash was a car crash initially in the game.
Made it more
The
epic.
explosion, yeah, the
More Michael
explosion.
Bay.
HBO was like, nah, we got budget for a plane. We can do a plane
Yeah,
crash.
they got budget.
Yeah, but like the explosion for Test was completely different. The way like the guy that like fucked them over gets killed is completely different, and like the way he meets Ellie's completely different. So I think there are just like so many changes that they do for the show, and I'm just curious to see like what story beats and stuff they're gonna do for season 2, and the rest of season 1. Like I'm really excited
Yeah,
to see
yeah.
what happens.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for Last of Us Part 2. Click away now. But I still think they're gonna kill. You think they're gonna kill Joel, Pedro Pascal?
Well, of course,
mean,
I think
yeah.
they're definitely gonna kill Pedro, but
Yeah.
I'm curious to see. I'm not curious about that. Like I know Joel's gonna die. Like I know that was
Rip,
gonna happen. Like I think everybody knew that was gonna happen. But I'm curious to see how they're gonna implement like Abby's storyline, and like how they're gonna do all that stuff, because it's completely different. Like game to video game to like TV format. Like you can't just like, unless they do this, like you can't just rewind the TV show, like, or the TV episodes. Like you can't do like 3 episodes of like Ellie and then go back into time for the next 3 episodes and then go through those days with Abby. Like if they do that, then I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, okay. I'll be
Yeah.
like, there's a problem here.
I mean, I get what you're saying. So yeah, I'm curious too, but we'll see. We'll see. I think I am still looking forward to the show. Like I'm not disappointed in it at all. I'm
Yeah.
actually like very pleased because it is a video game adaptation done well. I just
Yeah.
it hasn't hit that goated level for me yet. But that's
It
what
will.
that's what I
It
got.
will.
What would you rate it out of 10? What would you rate that first episode out of 10?
I don't know. I'm so biased because I just love the first game so much.
Yeah.
And when I heard the minute I heard the opening like theme in the opening sequence, I was like, this shit's fire. I would say 9 out of 10. I would say the horror aspects are definitely a highlight. You could tell like they're gonna do more practical things. Like even behind the scenes, the clicker was practical. Not necessarily this episode at the very last second, but I think whenever they do show up, it's gonna be more practical. I love the horror aspects of it. I love the added changes. I don't think it's perfect. I'm not fully convinced on Ellie's actress yet. It's still taking me a while to adjust, but I'm not like one of those people that are like, oh my god, she doesn't look like Ellie. This is horrible. I'm never gonna watch this show. I mean, fucking Pedro Pascal doesn't look like Joel. The actress for Sarah doesn't look like Sarah. Tommy doesn't look like Tommy, but they're still good characters, and it's just gonna take me a while, I think, overall, to get used to seeing them as they are, because I'm just so used to seeing them in a different way. But anything Pedro's in, I'm just already sold with that guy. He's Mandalorian. I'm convinced. He's Joel. I'm convinced. I'm there already. But with every other
Yeah.
character, it's just gonna take me a little bit while, maybe like one or two more episodes, and then I'm gonna get used to it. But that's not like the actress's fault or like anything. It's just me adjusting my brain to like what I'm used to and like what's happening, like what I'm seeing like right in it, now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like. I would give it I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Where does it lose points?
I think it loses points. I think I had like I don't know. I don't know if it was like a pacing issue, but I feel like, and maybe, I don't know. I feel like it was just something with like the pacing, and potentially like the character connections, or like maybe like liking the characters or something. I'm really into like Joel and what's the other guy's name? Is it his brother, right?
Tommy.
Tommy. I'm
Yes.
into like Joel and Tommy, like that duo. And I don't know. I just haven't really gotten to really like care about the other characters yet. So
That's fair,
maybe.
but like you're not a huge like fan of the games like I am. So for me, I'm already
Fair.
like I know
Yeah.
I know it like the back of my hand. I played
Yeah.
The Last of Us like 7 times.
But that's
Like
also another thing for me that I wasn't sure if I liked or not, because I did know like what was gonna happen, and because it was following so loyally to the source material, it was like I'm like, oh, this is happening. Like I knew this was gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
so I didn't know if I liked that or not. So that's another thing I'm kind of on the edge about.
But the thing is that they're not like doing like one for one. They are doing like changes and like
It has
ads.
changed a little bit, yeah.
So it's like I get what you mean. Like for the most part, I'm like, damn, they said the line from the game. That's cool. But also part of me is like, holy shit, we didn't get to see a lot of like before they're infected. We didn't get to see like this part of the story. Like we didn't get to see like the whole like neighbor stuff. Like that was cool. And I'm curious, like I'm excited because but like I I'm excited because I know what's gonna happen, so I'm excited to see how they do what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
But I'm also
true.
excited to see changes.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
like I could be remembering something and be like, oh, something's coming up, and then they're gonna be like, no, no, there's
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
yeah, I
I
get
can't
it.
wait for Sunday. I can't
It's
wait
not
for
bad.
Sunday.
It's not bad. I hope they stick with the horror ish and more like the tension, and I don't want it to be like just like an action kind of thing. I want them to have a little put like that thought into it like they did in the first episode. Like and in the
Yeah.
very first opening when it's like the talk show like the 1960s.
Oh, that was
And
so
then,
good.
and like the foreshadowing there was really good. It's like, the fungi never need to evolve to a point where they needed to survive to the temperature of humans, but like if like the planet like warmed up, then maybe they would
Yeah.
need to. And that was like
Yeah.
really nice foreshadowing, and I was like, yo, that's cool. So I hope I hope they don't go down like the action, like dumb action kind of thing. I hope they keep it like cool.
I think I read somewhere like online people were talking about it on TikTok like the opening and how scary it was. And I found it kind of like chilling. Like I was like I was like holy shit, like that's kind of right. Like there's so much about nature that we just don't understand. Like that could be totally plausible. Like the world could get warmer and like nature can evolve like fucking like COVID for example like there was so
Yeah.
many different like variations and stuff like that like because of outstanding like extra
Yeah.
factors
Yeah.
like who knows with like nature like him saying that I was like yo what if that's actually true like what if
Yeah, yeah.
the world does get warmer and some fucked up shit happens because like species need to evolve. Species need to like we're not the only living thing on this planet, and I think that's
Fair.
so crazy. And people were like, "Yo, that's really scary," and I think that was really true. And I hope I agree with you. I hope that they continue with the horror aspects. There's definitely a lot of potential. Like, I play the game. There's like a lot of potential for those horror aspects and those really creepy elements, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. And another spoiler alert. I don't know for you, but like halfway through the game, Joel like falls off like the side of like a building and like lands on a piece of rebar and like pierces his body. And Ellie has to like pick him up and like get him out of there. I am curious to see what the fuck happens there and how that shit goes down because that's gonna be insane. And yeah, that's why I'm so excited for this. I know, like, I know, like, it's like, okay, they're gonna follow the game like one to one, but I'm also excited to see the changes they make and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So I'm excited too.
so
We'll see. What day during the week do they show the episodes?
Sunday.
All right. I can't wait to
Yeah.
legally watch them on Sunday now.
Yeah, and I can't wait to watch more Velma. Oh,
my
Jeepers.
God, yes.
I love
Jeepers. I love
Yeah.
Velma.
Velma is special, bro. I hope it gets canceled. I hope it gets canceled.
You know, I
Low-key.
keep seeing that it's like people say it's really bad, but I just have not had the gumption to actually click on any of those videos just because like I don't know, maybe it's part of me being like I don't want to see Scooby Doo trashed, but at the same time it's like I just also don't really care. So I just don't click
I mean,
on
it's not a
them.
big. It's not like a big deal to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh my god, I love Scooby Doo. This is my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
It's gonna affect. It doesn't affect my life, but I think it's just so fucking funny how the entire internet was like, yo, we don't want this shit. And then HBO Max is like, our number one animated show premiere. But then the funny thing is that they took down all their animated shows. Like, that's the only animated show on the service. So of course it's gonna be number one. And like, yo, and I heard people complain that like they need to stop getting comedian writers to like make the jokes on an animated show because comedian like the jokes that they don't land the same for animated shows. Like animated shows need animated writers. And
It's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just so many changes to the source. It's like I feel like Velma's like Riverdale. They're just using Scooby Doo as like a license, and they're like
Yeah.
these are the characters, and these are the characters' names, how they look like, that their likeness, but they're not.
That's a very
any.
yeah, that's a very thin like line to walk on because like in one hand like you can kind of do that but you have to do it like really right or else it's like
Yeah.
you should have just made something else.
Yeah, you don't even have Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo's not even in it. Scooby Doo's
That's
not
crazy.
even in the show.
That's
And the
crazy.
funniest thing is that like people were kind of getting mad that people were saying that Shaggy was a stoner, like that the show was explicitly saying he's a stoner, and people
Yeah.
were like mad and being like, "Yo, the funny part about Shaggy is that like nowhere in ever is it ever implied or like said that he's a stoner. He's just like that, like that's just Shaggy." And they were like, there's a lot of
It's
like
kind of
people doing,
implied
like,
in some other movies.
some of the movies, yeah, but I think like in the cartoons and stuff, he's just that. Like he's
the
just
cartoons, yeah.
he's
cartoons,
just that's just
yeah,
how Shaggy
yeah.
is.
That's funny though. But
Um,
hey, I mean, good job, HBO.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good job.
Sometimes
You should stick to your live action shit. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll work out for you.
Yeah, just like it
Not-
worked out for
not
Game of
Velma.
Thrones last season 8 of Game of Thrones. That really worked out.
Bro, I could go on
You know,
a full.
I didn't
We
watch
could
it,
have like a
though.
full episode.
I know.
I could have my own full
yeah,
episode.
yeah, just the solo. Hey, John's not here. What's
John's not here. Let's talk about Game of Thrones season 8 and how garbage it was. And I go through every single episode, and every single episode coverage is like an hour long, and it points out every single thing wrong with it. It's an 8-hour long
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh god. Yeah, well,
By the end of it. No.
maybe next time.
Yeah.
Maybe next time. But good podcast episode today.
Yes, it's just under an hour.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope this new year brings, new enjoyment to our viewers.
Yeah, even
As
though
much
it's
as
like
it will us.
January 17th. We're 17 days late in this episode, but that's okay.
That's okay. It's okay. Technical
okay.
difficulties.
Yeah. Also, we were busy doing other stuff.
Yeah,
We have lives,
but-
people.
Yeah, we have lives, but that's why we have this podcast to tell you about our lives.
Yeah.
All
Okay. We'll
right.
catch you next week, possibly.
Catch you next week. See ya.
Yeah. See ya.